So I'm sure you've seen about this Jefferson Griffin guy who is just a real scumbag. He's on the North Carolina Court of Appeals. He's trying to be a North Carolina Supreme Court justice. He's lost already, and he is just he's lost. He's lost every time there's been a recount, and he's trying to basically to take the election by making sure certain people can't vote. But lately, it's come out, that there's all this other crap, but that he was in a picture dressed up in a Confederate uniform at a fraternity party at UNC. This reminded me of a short story I wrote in this magazine. You can see my name there, and essentially this was my first paid short story. It was about 5 years ago in a Canadian magazine. And essentially, I wrote a story about this woman who was sexually assaulted at a fraternity party, and it was like after they'd had one of these, Confederate parties, and she was black and she worked at the fraternity, and a son was born as a result of that, and all the information came out about these Confederate parties and all of that. And he finds his mom crying one day, and she's just like, "Why are you crying?" She's like, "Yeah, one of these is he's a judge and he's your father." And I was like, shit, I pegged it right on the, not to say that obviously there's no evidence that Jefferson Griffin's done anything wrong, but it's like, Jesus, this story is kind of right on. But it made me think about this story. It's written in a Mystery Weekly magazine in Canada. And I was like, man, I was somewhat prophetic to write about this topic. But it just gives you, like, who the fuck dresses up in Confederate uniforms? I mean, the guy's younger than me, and he's doing that. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. And to think that this guy wants to be on the North Carolina Supreme Court. I mean, what a hack. What a partisan hack. He's unqualified anyways. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. But he's a partisan hack. So hopefully he'll lose. He did lose. Hopefully the North Carolina Supreme Court won't give him the election. But he's just a piece of shit. He's always been a piece of shit. And we didn't need this story about the Confederate uniform to know that Jefferson Griffin is a piece of shit and shouldn't be on the North Carolina Supreme Court.